and the Bearded podcast, but it's now the off season for the 49ers. But I mean, we're going to talk about all of it. But first, let's hit the music. Once again, it is Peter Lucas. I got with me today, Twin. This is the Niner Fanatic podcast. And before we get it started, make sure that you give this show a like. Make sure that you give me a subscribe. Make sure that you give Twin Empire a subscribe. And also make sure you hit the bell for both channels so you get the notifications when we go live. But Twin, a lot of people know you already, but why don't you tell them where they can find you on the socials?
Man, what's up? What it do on this terrific Tuesday? It's your boy Twin, man. You can find your boy on YouTube at Twin Empire. Make sure y'all sack that like button, subscribe to the channel, comment if you like to. And also, you can find me on Twitter at Twin Empire as well. Hit your boy up. Make sure you give me a follow. I make sure I follow you back, man. You can hear me talking about the 49ers and a plethora of miscellaneous things as well. So, what's good to everybody out there. I see you, Jessica. You starting early. Bang, bang, no Super Bowl ring. Oh, I see you, girl. I see you. She's coming in hot.
Yeah, we can't really say too much. But I will say this: 3 NFC Championship games out of 4 years isn't bad. But it's not where we want to be. I get it. But it's. I mean, it is what it is. It feels like I feel like it was just stolen from it. I felt like we were on the precipice, and it was just stolen from us. We woke up, and then all of a sudden, just everybody was gone. But
facts, man.
But how do you
like one
how
of them
did you feel about
cartoons? Hey, you remember them cartoons we used to grow up watching? It used to be like that one character who always had the cheese in front of the other character, and we'd get really close, and they would just snatch it, out of our hands or out of our sight, so the rug get pulled from underneath us, man. And so, to me, it felt like that once again. We heard throughout the off season, hey Peter, we have one of the best rosters there is in National Football League. We play one of the most physical brands of football in the National Football. We are one of the teams that continue to do what? Run the ball, no matter what the Pro Football Focus is saying or the fantasy owners or what they're looking for in today's modern football. They're like, hey, the Niners are still one of the gold standards. They stick to the old ways. They run the ball hard. They're committed to the run. They try to get their passing off of the play action, and they play tough, hard-nosed defense. So, man, it just seemed like it's a repeat. You know what I'm saying? It's just this cycle of some of the same things, and I think I have my own little theory of our issue, which may be controversial, but we'll get to that whenever the question lends me to speak on
it. Cool. But we're gonna start off with we got to start off with Purdy, and we found out that he tore his UCL ligament, and he's gonna be out at least 6 months at this point. So it could be a year, depending. We still have to find out if it's gonna absolutely need a reconstruction, but. How do you think that Purdy feels right now, being a 7th round pick and his draft status, and having an injury like this that could derail any kind of momentum that he had for a whole season possibly?
Honestly, I think first and foremost, how he feels is that he feel like he let the team down. And when I mean feel like he let the team down, I feel like he came to the locker room and he ate of the forbidden fruit, and down goes another quarterback. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Mhm.
I was there, similar to how Jimmy was, maybe at the end of the year last year. Then he got hurt, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Brock Purdy. Maybe because I'm a 7th round draft pick. Maybe because I
Yeah,
don't have all this expectation on me. Maybe because I just came in here. I've been a company guy, like my girl just sit there. Jessica said, I've been a guy of the culture. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, maybe I'm the one who to turn the tide. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
then, dun dun dun. Nope. You see what I'm saying? And so I think he
yeah,
feel first and foremost that he let the team down. I know a lot of people talks about the guy's pockets and the financial situation that he may no longer be in because of the injury, because they were forecasting he could have made a lot of money, a lot of coin in the next couple of years if he continued to keep that production. But that's what I think what he's feeling right now. The initial hurt of letting down the team, because he can look to the left, look to the right, look across him, and can tell that he had a squad surrounding him, and all thing they needed him to do was just keep the boat afloat.
yeah, for sure. And we want to mention the people in the chat. I appreciate you coming in, Jessica, uh, Ty. Like, appreciate you coming in, brother. Like, I saw that you subscribed a few days back, and
Me
then
too.
to Robinson. Like, appreciate you coming through, fam. Like, appreciate everybody coming through and checking us out. But I agree. I agree. Where we're at, like, is, of course, I think he felt like he let the team down. Like, he talked about it in the press conference, and he was really kind of he said it. He said that, he felt bad for the guys that have been here, and they thought that they were on the precipice. This was the best the 49er offense looked since Channy's been here. And for it to just kind of be snatched away like that was when you had so much hope. It had to kill some of those vets, because they had been so close so many times, and then once again it just kind of got the rug pulled out from underneath them. Uh, but yeah, it's sad. Like, but at the same time, I feel bad for Brock, like, because with his draft status, he not many 7th round rookies get a chance get a chance to get on the field,
Yeah.
let alone like, be able to be in an NFC championship game and have an opportunity to show what they're capable of and that they're bigger than their draft status. Because I think that's what happens quite a bit in the league. We get football fans get enamored with traits, and they get
Mm-hmm.
enamored with the tools, like the huge arm, the 40 time, and like all that other stuff. And sometimes it's just about, can you play the game? And Brock could obviously play the game. And he was at the very least, he was a really good fit with Shanny. And it's sad to see him go down like that. Like, because I really think, not just for us fans, but for him in general, because I mean, an injury like this, like, you don't know what he's going to come back looking like. Sometimes they come back looking, pitchers can sometimes come back looking
Yeah.
stronger than they did before. But this isn't it's not the same throwing motion. So it'll be interesting to see what he looks like coming out of this injury, but we got a long wait for that. So
Yeah, we definitely, like I said, got a long way to go. I think the team, and this is the thing I have with people a lot of times, where I try to be nice and say no offense, but at the same time, not somebody say no disrespect, but some disrespect about to come afterwards.
yeah.
Uh, this is a situation where people always say, "Well, listen, 2 years, 3 years ago, we had a talented team and we didn't make it. Oh, well, the team is good. We made an NFC Championship game. We'll do it again." But
Mhm.
people fail to realize how hard it is to keep a team together in this league. This is not the old collective bargaining. Like, this is not how you could keep players 5 to 8 years consistently. This is a whole different system. You know what I mean? And so, with the money being the
Absolutely.
way that it is, where the interchange of young people, old people are coming in and out of the league, you have to try to strike when it's hot. And we have this idea, like, because watch, hypothetically speaking, we lose a player here, we lose a Trent Williams here, and then say, for instance, Trey Lance play starting off next year. You know what happens? Oh, hey, when he's getting pressure on the blind side, why he doesn't seem as comfortable as Brock Purdy? But
Yeah.
Brock Purdy had one of the best left tackles of all time. But now people are going to what? Nullify that because there's already a certain type of, certain things going on about the person as it is as a quarterback. And so these things begin to happen, or you lose some key players on defense. Those things begin to say, well, why isn't the defense playing as good? Well, when you had the players, as far as health wise, there, you had the depth there, and you didn't succeed. Every year you got to pay this person, you lose another individual that shows some type of characteristic that another team says, instead of you being the sixth man in rotation, come to my team, you'll be the what? The second man on rotation. And so when you don't capitalize on these opportunities and pieces start to fall apart away from you, and you may miss on some draft picks, or you just don't have a good look this year with injuries. Nick Bosa didn't get hurt. You know what I mean? Or somebody, Fred Warner almost got, like, we all was like holding our collective breath. I was like, oh Lord, you see what I'm saying? Because he was dependable.
Yeah.
Him not getting hurt this year, but who's to say next year? You know what I mean? Then people are like, well, what's going on now? And so these are things that when you do have the opportunity to succeed, this is when you got to. That's why I always call like Michael Jordan the GOAT, because whenever he got the chance to win it,
he won.
But he won. But yeah, didn't mean to get long-winded on you. But I'm just trying to tie in certain things because people got to realize this is hard to keep a team as talented as this is. And we talked about this earlier this year when we was critiquing our team against maybe some lower opponents. And I heard a lot of people always get mad in the spaces and say, I'm not a fan, or they'll say, Pete, you tripping when you say, hey, we did this against a team that's not as talented.
Yeah.
And like, well, we just got a W. A W is W. You say that now, but when you play against the cream of the crop, it's the small, minutia things,
little things
that be emphasized that you sit there and say, oh, don't worry about we winning. Oh, don't worry about we winning. Yeah, we winning. You are beating who you're supposed to be. But when you play against them certain teams, man, that stuff is amplified,
Yeah. And we all said it before the game that this game was gonna come down to who blinks first, who makes that big mistake, what big thing happened, because there was no margin for error. Both teams are great. Nobody made it. Neither one of those teams made it there by accident. Like they were both very good teams. So we knew that the 49ers were going to have to execute. And as soon as Purdy went down, that was a wrap, because you can't all of a sudden you go from you needing it to be like perfect to all of a sudden it just went doom. Like and there's no, now you got Josh Johnson, somebody that's pretty much off the street. And even though he knows the offense and all that kind of stuff, he has no reps with anybody, doesn't like, couldn't even get the play in. He couldn't even get the play in a lot.
But see, I don't mean to cut you off, but we've seen this issue last week, us not getting the playoff, and we've seen this in Seattle having trouble getting the play in the first half. I don't know if you remember that. There were several plays in the first half against Seattle that we looked at. We had a penalty in the second quarter, and we had to call a timeout. I remember tweeting, hey guys, this can be an issue. We need to make sure we show up, because Kyle has those long, lengthy plays. And that pressure, look, that pressure is something else. And this is where, don't hurt me, people. Don't hurt me, man. But this is what happens, man. You got to make sure that you got to keep it. I call it, the acronym is a KISS. Keep it simple and sweet. You know what I mean? Like, I saw that. I was like, oh, Lord. Once those penalties start coming, you got a team like the Eagles that can pin your ears back and don't got to worry about passing game.
Yeah, but this is the thing. And somebody had said earlier, that Shanahan failed Purdy and the team. And this was one of those situations where I have no problem criticizing Shanahan. Like I did it all throughout the season. And because he doesn't necessarily do things the way that I would do them. I think that sometimes he doesn't take the obvious thing that you should do. But I think in this situation, this was a fluke. This was a fluke injury. I get what people are saying, that he had a tight end blocking Reddick,
Hassan Reddick.
but this is the thing. They had run that play they had run that play a whole bunch of times before that.
With who though?
Well, I know, but I mean they haven't been playing bad defenses,
but
they
not
haven't been,
not defense with 74 sacks though.
I get it, but you're not gonna go away with from what works, because, and this is the thing to think about also. How many times did he call those plays and Brock just spun away from the pressure? This was one of the few times where he didn't even see the pressure coming. And but most of the time, because it was play action, he had his back to the play.
But I mean, you got a part called protection though, right? So you got, as if I'm the quarterback, right? And I know I just called play action and my body's going to be turned to the number 2 sack sack leader in the NFL. I got to put that in my mind because I know he's jumping off the ball, and I know I should know my pass pro, right? My pass pro should tell me that I have McGlinchey, but then I got 2 tight ends over there, and and Tyler Croft is guarding Hassan Reddick, who is a speed rusher, not a power rusher, but a speed.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I saw that play, I looked and I was like, oh crap, because this is the only thing I saw really was when you saw the play action. I don't know, you probably just seen it where Brandon Ayuk, where he waited to BA was like opened up his shoulder, but BA had him at the top of the route. He was going here and he was already wide open. And in my brain, I saw it and I was like, he's waiting. Nah, because you kind of nervous at the same time because you don't want to make that mistake, right, Pete? So I think he was looking, was like, I want to make sure he's open. And there was a play 2 weeks ago where he threw the ball to Brandon Ayuk, and the commentary said this. He said, hey, Brock waited too long. You remember that pass he threw it towards, it was a post route?
Yeah,
and he threw it underneath.
It's not the first time that he's waited a little bit too long. He tends to wait a click too long. I mean, but that's my point though, is that it's not necessarily all Kyle's fault like that. I mean, Brock's got some of that blame too, and it is what it is. It's football. They had to hit him in the exact perfect spot to hit the nerve to get the to rip out his UCL. So a lot of things had to happen for that exact injury to happen right at that moment. Like so I just shy away from completely blaming Kyle. Now, if we talking Trey Lance, yes, I blame Kyle for Trey Lance getting hurt. Like because in my mind, you don't run your franchise quarterback, or I put that in heavy quotation marks because I don't believe in that term, franchise quarterback. But you don't the guy that you invested all this draft capital into, you're not going to you're not running him into walls over and over and over again and then say, oh well, it's football. Like, who is doing that? Who is really doing that? So like in that situation, I would blame Kyle. Do you blame Kyle for the Jimmy injury? I don't think anybody blames Kyle for the Jimmy injury.
I don't blame Kyle for the Jimmy injury. I do blame Kyle in the front office for this. I think you said something earlier about I don't believe in a franchise quarterback. So I can get how some people say that, but I also realize, say, Trevor Lawrence, what would you consider him? You think he's a franchise quarterback? Or would you, or a placeholder? I'm not sure. How would you categorize him or title him?
This is the thing. There is only maybe 2 quarterbacks in the league that you could call a franchise quarterback, a guy that you can throw the ball 40 to 50 times on a regular basis and it'd be fine. Like it'd be fine on any given game. Everybody else needs help.
Okay.
Everybody else needs help. So like Justin Herbert needs help. Josh Allen needs help. Trevor Lawrence definitely needs help. Like so I know that's ever since Brady came through and started and New England came up with that offense to make the passing game an extension of the run game, like and they started throwing the ball 40 to 50 times a game. Ever since then, Every team has been looking for that type of quarterback to do that, and it's just not a thing. It's not a
So
thing. You're gonna go wrong.
how would you
At some
rebrand it? Let's say
I would
let's
just
put it like
say
that. How would you
your
rebrand it?
quarterback. Your quarterback. Because that's what
Uh-huh.
they are. They're quarterback. They weren't calling Elway and all those guys the franchise quarterback at the time. They were just, hey, it's Joe Montana. Like or it's Dan Marino. Like, I just don't
Mm-hmm.
believe in the term franchise because they try to make it seem like a lot of these teams give up on quarterbacks because they can't throw the ball 40 and 50 times. Dak is I heard somebody mention Dak earlier. He is a perfect example. He needs help. He needs a running game. He needs them to run the game and have a running game and build off of play action. He needs that.
Yeah.
And do they always do that? No. They drop him back, have him throwing the ball 40, 50 times. And then when he throws 2 or 3 interceptions, we sit here and blame Dak. Well, maybe that's your coach's fault that he put you in that position. And isn't recognizing your strengths and weaknesses, because
Yeah.
at a certain point, you've invested this draft capital in this person. You have to figure out a way to make him look good. It don't matter.
Okay, now whoa. Now see that's where I'm trying to get to far as how do we frame this position? The quarterback in the NFL is one of the biggest positions there is. We know with our team we have there's a bundle of things when it comes to our QB room. And this is where I feel like the 49ers is probably getting this bad luck from. Shoot me in the comments if you want to. But I think because we have been so indecisive with our quarterback situation, where we haven't been committed at all to one. Even when we signed Jimmy, we were still looking for other options. I believe most teams don't do that. And I think because at the most important positions, we have not gave this individual the room to relax and feel as if this is his team. I don't care what other pieces we put around us. Say, for instance, Jalen Hurts. Even though it was Carson Wentz team not too long ago, and they had the Gardner Minshew for a little bit, when they saw Jalen Hurts, they said, guess what, my guy? They traded away Gardner Minshew, who was actually a pretty good, productive quarterback. If you look at his stats, it wasn't bad. He was actually pretty good for that team over there in Jacksonville before he went to Philadelphia. Neither here or there. But they wanted him to know, hey, guy, I'm cutting everybody else out like a coupon. You are my guy. Trevor Lawrence. They gave away the other individuals, and they say, "Know what? You are my guy." Whether it's Patrick Mahomes, these quarterbacks, even with Justin Herbert. Hey, Tyrod Taylor, I know we punctured your lungs, but guess what, my guy? See you later. They made sure that these individuals, as a quarterback, maybe even not the franchise, but if you want to build into being a franchise quarterback, I don't want you to worry about nothing. I want the radio host. I want the beat writers. I want the casual fan. I want the diehard fan. I want whoever to know that when they say who is the quarterback, no matter what it is who? Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts. It wasn't none of this chatter on the outside. They eliminated all of those things. What the 49ers don't do is eliminate all those things. We invite
that is true.
Everybody to nitpick, to cause confusion. It's a good Bible scripture out there that says, look, hey, a double-minded mind is unstable in all of his ways. It's been a tactic for years. They say if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have 0. They said it for a reason. We've been watching football as long as we can. So because this is what we consistently perpetuate out there, everywhere we look on the KNBR or 105 point game, guess what they are always talking about? Is it Brock? Is it Jimmy? I like the way Jimmy play. I don't like the way Trey play. I like the way Brock play. He reminds me of Jimmy, but a little more athletic. I don't like the way Brock play, but he reminds so we have the fights, we have issues in our own camp consistently, and nobody's not going to tell me this is why we got that rabbit foot of injuries, because we play around too much and we're not committed to the best position in football. We're not committed to. So because we're up and down like that, guess what our injuries are doing?
Yeah. And this is and to your point, this is something that the fans have been asking for years. Because you got to bring up Kelton. Hey, appreciate you, brother, for coming in. Kelts mentioned when I learned this lesson is the blame doesn't matter anymore, but putting major emphasis on protecting the quarterback is a must. How many years have we been asking for them to upgrade this offensive line? I know I can speak for myself. It's been since Shanny's got here. I've been waiting for them to upgrade, to get that center of to draft, sign. I don't care, but they need to get a center. They needed to replace McGlinchey because this is the thing. Kyle has he puts a premium on run blocking. We all know it. He doesn't care about pass blocking. But frequently what happens? Your quarterback is going down every single season. So you're going to be forced to put a premium on pass blocking. And now, when that said, this season, I think that the offensive line best season pass blocking that I've seen since Shanny's been here. But
because of health,
but
they stay healthy the majority of the year.
Exactly. But if you look at it, they had Aaron Banks, who was a relative unknown. They thought they knew what they had. But you got Spencer Burford, complete unknown. They didn't know. Brendel, how could you know? And then you got McGlinchey, who's known to give up one or two complete whiffs a game. And McGlinchey, he gets by on his run blocking because he's such a good run blocker. People don't want to give him up, but we need somebody that can protect our guy. And I've been saying it for a couple of years now. He just needs to go. They should have drafted his replacement. They should have drafted a center 2 years ago. And I know that they think Nick Zakel is going to be the answer. I know that they have a plan, but at the same time, the plan right now is not working, and it hasn't been working for the last couple of years as far as protecting your QB, because it doesn't matter if it's a franchise or QB or not. Like, your current QB right now, whoever's out on the field has to be protected, because you're gonna throw the ball. You're not gonna run the ball every time.
Eventually.
Yeah. So it.
But hey, you know what that looks similar to though, Pete? Though.
Yeah.
It looks similar to the quarterback position. You don't know if you want a young guy, old guy, or old guy. We got guys like, Brendel, he goes in and out. We had a center over the last 5 years, whether it was Richenberg, whether it was Alice Mack, whether it was Brendel now. It's a what? It's a rotation in one of the most important positions there is, right? The center position. Yep. And so this is consistently a rotation. Same thing with the quarterback, a consistent rotation. Like, we have the ups and downs consistently, and then we don't realize that pass pro, eventually you're going to have to sit back and make some throws, bro. Eventually you're going to have to. And we know when you go to the NFC Championship game, one thing that you're going to meet there is a team with some type of good pressure. It's a reason why they're going to make it there, because they have something that a lot of other teams don't have, which is what? Players at the skill position that do things above average.
Yep.
It's been like that since the time of football.
Yeah, this is another great point by Kelt. The Eagles didn't have to do anything extravagant because they focused on their protection. If you look at their offense as a whole, they don't really do anything special. They don't do anything special. There's no exotic looks. There's nothing. They're going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball. They're going to run it with their QB. And they're going to keep running the ball. They're going to throw it about 20, 25 times. They're going to throw the occasional screen, and they're going to throw the occasional deep pass. And that is it. That is the extent of their offense. But it works because that offensive line is crazy good. Good. Kelsey, what's his name on the right side? Yeah, all of them. It's
Lane
just a
Johnson,
good,
Mulatto.
Yeah, Lane Johnson. That was what I was thinking of.
I think it was Dickerson. He's another rookie. He's a rookie. He was a top
Dickerson,
draft pick. He can't even get in the game.
He was supposed to be a center. He's supposed to be the center of the future, and he's playing guard. But but he played well. And but this is what we're talking about. They're investing in the line. And the 49ers take cast-offs, and make better players out of them. And
because of
but
system.
yeah, but you can only hide it for so long. Like you're
Against
gonna
weak
get
opponents.
exactly. You're gonna get eventually. You're gonna play a really good team, and they're gonna get blown up. Like that's what's gonna happen. So I think that Aaron Banks is gonna be able to I mean, I thought he had a really good season. He's gonna be able to develop. I think Burford's going to develop. I think Burford may be our right tackle of the future. That might be.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that. We don't know what's going to happen with Poe. He might be the center of the future. We don't know. Like,
Oh, yeah, he's gonna
but
play.
yeah, they've got some talent, but it's young and it's undeveloped right now. Like, but unfortunately for them right now, you have all these weapons in this Super Bowl caliber team, like, and you don't have time for those guys to develop. Everybody was worried about Trey developing. How about this offensive line? Like, they're the ones. It's more. I feel like their development is more important than Trey's development. Like,
I got a question.
because yeah,
So now you said we don't have that much time, but it's like every year we say we don't got that much time.
yeah,
By the time we actually would have put these guys in from the beginning, they would have accumulated enough time and repetitions to actually be what we're looking for them to be.
they're always a year late with everything. They're always a year late. They drafted Nick Zakel a year later than because I was mocking them to draft a center the year before, just like the year
Yeah.
before I was mocking them to draft a right tackle, like and then last year I thought they should have drafted a safety. I wanted Jaquan Brisker. I thought they should have traded up and got Jaquan Brisker. And now I'm not
Yeah.
saying that oh, I know more than Lynch and all that, because they obviously put together a really good roster. Like, but at the same time, I don't think they always take care of their needs that are right in front of their face.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they get masked by, like you said, the scheme, and when it comes down to it, it's just a little, not just not enough. But I'm gonna get off my soapbox. And Kelt says, "Stay up, stay blessed. Appreciate you, brother." But I want to get to this next topic. So D'Amico gets his 6-year deal from the Texans. I mean, we knew it was coming. And
For sure.
I can't say enough how happy I am for him. He deserves it. He put this team last year, like with Josh Norman and Drake Kirkpatrick, and
Dante,
all these randoms playing corner, and they were still a great defense. And this season, great defense. I mean, he almost flipped the switch. It was almost a completely different defense this year, just because there's so many turnovers compared to the year prior. And he maximizes the talent that's in front of him. Like, and I think that's going to serve him well on the Texans. They're not devoid of talent. They've got some pieces over there. It's going to really depend. Yeah, it's going to really depend on who they bring in for an offensive. He brings in for an offensive coordinator, what his staff looks like. But I'm sure
Stingley Jr. too.
Yes, yeah, and he's. I will say Stingley Jr. Like he gets a bad rap because how good Sauce was. Like, but he's not bad.
Sauce, man. It's Sauce. Like Sauce out here.
I mean, Sauce the first year in, he's like what, top 2, top 3,
all pro. I think he's already
yeah, it's crazy. Like, but yeah, I just think that I think Stingley is a solid player. I just think that
for sure,
because of his draft status and because of how Sauce played, he gets kind of a bad rap, and because of the team he's on. Like, but yeah, he's going to need a lot of pieces, but I think that he's going to do well because I think he has learned a lot from Kyle and John. As you can say what you want to about Kyle and John, they know how to build a culture, and it's so I think that he learned that lesson. He knows that he's going into a toxic atmosphere, but hey, we gotta say good luck to D'Amico, and we wish you the best. Because you
Appreciate you,
hell,
my guy.
God knows that you did so much for our team. So
Yes,
uh
man. Thank you, man. Thank you very much, Demikio, because you were the most consistent coach on this team. I mean, I know later on in the year Cal picked it up, but we
yeah,
rode your back for majority part of this year. You showed the 49ers fan probably in spurts some of the best defensive football that we have ever seen or that we haven't seen in years since the 80s. You know what I mean? Even though the 90s, the 2000, 11, 12, 13 situation was quite good, there was a
mm-hmm,
moment in time over several games that you guys were playing at an all-time high. And so we
for
appreciate
sure.
what you did, the culture, how you affected the young boys, whether it was Nick Bosa. I also want to give D'Amico Ryans his flowers because a lot of people only know him as a coach, not necessarily knowing him when he was drafted to the Houston Texans, when there
He
was
was
an
a
Andre
beast as a
Johnson
player too.
there was a Schaub there, there was a young J.J. Watt there, and so on and so forth. But people don't realize that he was the one who groom the guy that we all call All Pro Fred. Like, we got to keep it
Yep.
a bean and keep it a buck. He groomed All Pro Fred. He took some undrafted guys, like Al Shazier, a late round draft pick in Greenlaw, and he groomed these guys into some wonderful linebackers. And what most people would say, we have the best linebacker core in the National Football League. So he created a culture. He created a swagger. He created, a bum linebacker room and then went on to create a bum defensive team. And so I love the way that he talked to his guys, and he always told them, do not be a energy vampire. I love it when he says, do not suck the energy out the room. It seems like I don't mind critiquing you, but I'm going to give you life and life more abundantly. I'm going to put the battery in your back. I'm going to put a solar panel on your back. So wherever you go, you're going to be re-energized and recharged. And I think that's something that we need to look at and hold on to as he vacate the premises of Santa Clara and outside of the San Francisco 49ers uniform.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But now with him being gone, it leaves a humongous void in at the DC coordinator spot. And there's and we thought it was a foregone conclusion, but apparently today something opened up. We thought Fangio had signed up with Miami, but apparently he didn't finalize anything, and so they still are about to talk to him. They're talking. They're also talking to Wilkes from Carolina, who I
Yeah.
think is a strong candidate. But they got a couple of in-house guys that may have a say in the matter also. Daniel Bullock's the safety coach. He's been around league for 16 years. And
Yeah.
you wouldn't know it by looking at it because he looks so young. But
Mm-hmm.
he's a guy that I'm kind of looking at. Also, there's another guy. Chris Kasur, I know people the popular name is Chris Kasur because he does so much with the D line, but he said over and over and over again he doesn't want to be a D coordinator.
Facts.
So
Yeah, I heard him say it
it
too.
is,
So yeah.
but Johnny Holland is another guy, the linebacker coach, been in the league 35 years. And that's another name. If we're talking about in-house prospects, those are really the
Yeah.
only two, Daniel Bullocks and Johnny Holland, that I would think of in-house. But
Yeah.
anybody else that you're thinking of, or
I,
that there may have a shot at it.
I think right now that is a position that if Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch want to just sit back and just look at the phone, look at the call. You know how back in the day we grew up, we had the call ID, the little white
Yeah.
phone, looked like a little cube, had the call ID. I think this is the opportunity for them to sit back and say, who do we want?
Yeah.
What direction do we want to go? We know that we're about to lose some people. We know that there are some weaknesses in our team. Who can we choose to make sure that we can solidify these positions? You know what I'm saying? And so right now, they have options. And hopefully, I don't know if you want to go with the older, mature coach or do you want to go with the new, innovative coach? We've seen some of these newer guys who are doing some great things, but then also you got the guys in Kansas City who is an older cat. I forgot his name right now.
Spagnola.
Spagnolia. He's been around for a while, but he's not going nowhere. But he can still do wonderful things on defense. But then you got the young guy in Cincinnati. I can't pronounce. I don't want to murder his name, but he's doing some creative things on the defensive end. He helped Patrick Mahomes like to a minimum, despite some of these calls that we saw that was horrendous. Even in Philadelphia, they got some guys who are still a young blood. So I think right now is just where do we see our roster going in the next 2-3 years? Because I'm assuming that's how they're going to plan it out, as far as who they're going to go out and pick, as far as draft wise, and then who are they going to resign. So I'm cool with. I mean, I like Wilkes, but I know there's some allegations about that. I didn't look into it deeply, but I did think he did a wonderful job with that team after Matt Rule left. He made that team. He kept that team competitive. They played hard.
That's what I looked at.
And they played nasty, and they had some key figures on their team, and so that and the team wasn't bad. It's just they wasn't brought up and coached right. So I think Wilkes probably be a guy that I really look into. And other than that, man, I think there's some sleepers out there who's calling him saying, "Hey, man, I want to be part of your organization because I see what you guys have here, and it's not here for a short time. It's possibly that I can be here for a long time, which can give me an opportunity to be a head coach again." So,
yeah, I agree. Like, I think that I would be shocked if Fangio did if it didn't end up being Fangio. People kind of forget that Fangio came in to talk to the 49ers at the beginning of this year before the year started. Because and we all thought, because the premise was is D'Amico, I mean, she probably should have had a head coaching gig last year. And they just assume everybody was assuming that he was going to be gone after this year. So they thought the 49ers were automatically looking, but because there was no other reason. What reason did Fangio have to be in the building back then? Like there was none. And I think the Miami offered him a boatload of money, and I think that he was seriously considering that. But I think, honestly, and people want to link him to Sean Payton in Denver too. Like, he ain't going back to Denver. Come on. Why would he go back to Denver and play and be a D coordinator for somebody else? I just don't think that that's going to happen. So I think that Fangio is probably he's probably my my guy that I think is probably going to get it. I would not be shocked at Wilkes. I would not be shocked.
Do you think he's going to? I know a lot of people say he runs that 3-4. We run that wide 9 type of defense. I mean, I'm quite sure he's been in the game. This guy doggone long. I'm quite sure he can run whatever.
Yeah, he gonna figure it out. Yeah, he gonna figure it out. Like, but I wouldn't be terribly shocked. I don't think that would be a good fit for the 49ers. Like, in as far as if he tried to bring that 3-4, because you need like kind of your backers, especially you need some bigger guys on the edge, like some like Hassan Reddick type size guys, like
bigger or smaller or bigger.
Like, well, they're big for defensive end. They're smaller for defensive ends, but they're bigger than our backers. Because our backers are what, 220, 230, like they're almost like safety size.
But I mean, now me personally, I am a fan of 3-4 defense. I'm not gonna lie to you. I prefer 3-4 compared to the base of the wide 9, in my opinion. I like the explosiveness that you get off the edge. I like it when you can have the hybrid linebackers who can rush and also get into the flat. I mean, we play zone all the time anyway, so we're only telling the edge rushers to, if you're not rushing, to play the flats or to occupy the middle of the field. But I mean, I get it. It will be a different look. I just like the look and the style of a 3-4 defense. Like, that was my favorite defense. Even when I played Madden back in the day, man, you give me a 3-4 defense concept, man, I turn to Dick LeBeau out here, man. I'm like,
I love the 3-4.
Let's go.
Yeah, I love the 3-4, but I just don't think that we have the pieces to run a 3-4, and like because but you gonna turn Bosa into a linebacker? Because he can't be a D end in the 3-4. He's way too small for that. Like, I mean, they need to be 300 almost. Like,
I
to
mean,
be
those are the tackles. You only it's 3-4. So, I mean,
I got you, but
I
most
got one. I can play both on the end. Hey, if Kevin Green, I don't know if people know about Kevin Green. He was
yeah,
he's like top 5 in sacks and that. He played in 3-4 and he did a wonderful job.
but he was
He
a
got
linebacker.
over. I know you telling me Nick Bosa he hunted what?
I mean, he could
200?
be as long as you want to bring him in as a linebacker, but then that would mean that you're taking every now and then he's going to go out in coverage, and
That's
like,
fine. I
oh
mean, when
no,
he's blitzing, he's blitzing. Look, watch this. When he's blitzing, or like when he's rushing, he's rushing. But I mean, we need to get us a fat hog mog in the middle, 2 fat hog mogs in the middle, man. Oh, 2 big juicy boys.
yeah. I mean, I think that if you did bring Fangio and he decided he was going to stick with the 3-4, I think that tells you right away that I would think that Eric Armstead and Kinlaw are no longer in the plans. Like,
Hey, I get you. I
that's
get you.
that's my because I don't think you can run a 3-4 with that personnel, the defensive line that we
Yeah,
have. Like,
yeah,
so
they don't
because we
take up.
don't have a nose tackle on the team
We
right
need
now.
a fat. We need a fat belly boy. We need somebody who like 5,
Yeah,
6'2", 315 pounds. A little thickums out there.
yeah. I feel you. I wouldn't mind seeing a 3-4. I just with the team that we have right now,
Yeah.
it's a lot of construction.
Hey, I bet you
But
Drake Jackson will be in the game. He wouldn't be an active player though if we ran
oh
3-4.
man, but he
I'm just
might not.
saying.
He may not. He may get flashbacks and not want to be a part of that because like he said that he didn't like the way he was being used in SC. So like
Well, at least he played.
yeah, that's true. That's true. But I think Fangio can figure it out. Like I
Yeah,
think he can figure it out and like and then but yeah, Wilkes there's a couple of guys out there. I would be shocked if they try to overhaul the system. I think that they're still going to try and run the system that they got
yeah.
now, which is why I think I mean they may look internal, but I just don't see how you could. I don't know what they're going to do.
Either way,
Like
I don't think we're going to go. We're not going to take a tremendous step back. Though. I do
yeah,
believe that. No matter who he picked, I know he knows that he has to make sure that situation is in good hands. I believe he's been prepping, like you said. He probably had somebody like he was calling out the other individuals, the linebacker coach or the DB coach, and he kind of
yeah,
already knew D'Amico was gone. So
yeah. They had to be preparing for this. So, but all right, let's switch gears into the QB situation because
the QB carousel, baby.
oh my goodness. Like so now we right back into the thick of it. We
Into
right
the
back
thick
into
of
the
it.
thick of it.
Into the thick
It's
of it.
we went from Trey being the QB1 and Brock being QB3 and Jimmy just being here for another year like to now Brock to a certain point Brock was QB1 and they said that Trey may get traded and then but then Purdy gets hurt. Now we're back to Trey being QB1 and he's gonna get all the snaps and OTAs and all the other stuff. And everybody wants Jimmy gone. And now we're talking about bringing in Brady. It's
Kurt,
it's
Captain
never
Kurt.
ending. It's never ending.
This
Like
is a song that never ends.
oh,
And
like
it
I
goes
just
on and on, my
it's just
friend.
crazy. Like but how do you what do you feel should happen with the
All right, this is my honest
QB
God
situation?
opinion, my truth. I'm gonna stick on. I'm gonna down this hill. This is what we get for not starting Trey Lance 2020, 2000, whatever it's 2021,
Thank you.
2022 season. This is our fault. I don't care nobody. Y'all get mad all you want. Say we had a Pro Bowl or Super Bowl ready team. I really don't care. This is what you get. You get hog washing the mess. Now everybody say he's hadn't played in 3 years, but you didn't want him to play the first year. Now all of a sudden you're trying to say he doesn't have an experience that Brock Purdy had because he was a 4-year starter. So therefore Brock showed some type of poise in the ability to hold himself collectively as a quarterback against these, other teams and so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, if you don't want Trey Lance, the same narrative of why you think he shouldn't be playing is going to just only become higher because he doesn't get reps. Brock Purdy showed things that we all saw that was good. No lie, he did a wonderful job. But then again, you got to realize this. There's something that we have to say for the plethora of individuals that he had around him. Not saying that he didn't do what he needed to do, that he did not lead them guys into victory. But you have a guy in Trey Lance that if you're going to politic him this way, I think you are doing. This is why I think the injuries has happened to us because we don't do things in decency and order when it comes to the quarterback position. If I ask you who's our starting DN, you're going to say Nick Bosa. If I ask you who's our starting Mike linebacker, you're going to say who? Fred Warner. If I ask you who's our starting wide receiver, you're going to say Deebo Samuel. If I ask you who's our starting running back, you're going to say who? Christian McCaffrey. Last year, who? Elijah Mitchell. Like, you see how easy that comes off the tongue? You see how easy that cuts off confusion? But when it comes to the most important position in football where other 30-some-odd teams know who to say, we still don't like this. We're going like this.
Yeah.
So my thing is this. I'm going to say you have to start Trey Lance. Mainly because this. I know it. Listen. If Brock Purdy is what he is, he ain't going nowhere. You still got him for 2 years, yes or no? He's a rookie on a rookie deal. You need reps. You need to have without a shadow of a doubt, I need to see this young man play if he can stay upright, if you don't run him in the ground between off tackles. I need to see him play for at least 12 to 14 weeks. I got to see what I have with him. I have to see what does he look like with George Kittle because we don't see him with George Kittle. I have to see what he looks like CMC because he never had CMC. I have to see what he has with Elijah Mitchell because we never even seen him with who? Elijah Mitchell as well. Because people forget he got hurt in the first freaking quarter. If you look at Trey Lance stats in the first quarter of that Chicago Bears game, his QB rating was high, his completion rating was high. He was actually doing a pretty freaking good job. Yep. So, and that's with the offensive line who we all sit here and said today that needs some what? A little help.
A little help.
So in my opinion, man, I'm starting Trey Lance. I cannot bring in another distraction into not the locker room, but into the Bay Area and Bay Area sports because this will again become another circus. Most NFL coaches do not want a circus in there around the locker room or outside in the media. And I know people say it doesn't affect the team, but guess what, man? They are human beings. Eventually, it begins to wear on them, man.
Yeah, that's
sorry for my little long, my long run.
No.
I just, you know what I'm saying?
People are silly. People are just silly with that nonsense. Like, I mean, this is the thing about Trey, and I think Trey is supremely talented. Like, he has huge arm, he has speed. He doesn't necessarily have runner type speed, but this is the thing. He needs this to get for us to get an honest evaluation of what Trey is. He has to get the same game plan as Purdy and Jimmy. Like we can't. What does he need? Like what have we all said that he needs more than anything? It's passing reps. Like, he needs to be able to figure out how to play in that type of environment and be able to make his read, trust in what he sees, and be able to throw with anticipation. That's what he has to build on. And so in order to do that, you can't just give him QB option plays and then bring it back to he's done it 2-3 times, running into walls. He's like his head's spinning because he's gotten hit a few times. And now you're expecting him, okay. Like this
with
guy
with the longest playbook in the NFL right now. We have the longest play calls in the NFL. So like you say, get your bell run, then go out here and read.
It's like, can we just get him the same game plan? And this is another point. This is kind of off topic, but I just thought of it right now. Is what is a common denominator? What was Kyle doing in the beginning of the last 3 games that makes no sense, because we were talking about the offensive line, correct? And that we need more pass protection, and that Kyle doesn't value pass protectors. But what was he doing the beginning of the last 3 games? He's passing like in the beginning. He's not running until like well into the game.
Yeah,
So
like 6
if
minutes
you
in.
don't value pass protection, like how are you going to make those calls to say, okay, well, even though I know my guys aren't that great at pass protecting, I'm going to throw the play out there anywhere to catch them off guard like that. I mean, it's catching nobody off guard at this point. You've done it 3 games in a row.
And then
Like
also you gotta realize this. I don't mean also the route tree is cut down too. No offense to Brock, but we know we have. Can I ask you a question? How many times have we don't take a number of opportunities down the field? We may take one, maybe 2, but we're not throwing about 30, 35 yards down the field 5 to 6 times if we're throwing about 30 times a game, like most teams will.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like and I think that it's multifactorial. In the beginning, Brock was hurling it like down the field, and then you saw the last couple of games he kind of went away from it. Yeah, he kind of went away from it. I don't know if it was Kyle that kind of reeled him back in, but you
Conservative
saw
Kyle
that
pokes his head out again.
like it could have been like but yeah, I just want to see Trey get an honest opportunity to be a quarterback and not to be a fullback. Like I know that everybody's like, oh well, Kyle knows that he's not ready. That's why he's running him. Okay, well he's never gonna get ready. He's never gonna get
ready. Can you tell me? I want to know this. I watched football like you. I've seen Purdy miss open people.
Yeah.
And 10-yard routes, flat routes, I seen him miss it. It's okay. I've seen Patrick Mahomes miss several. It's okay. Why is it all of a sudden when Trey missed one, it's like only he is the only quarterback in the NFL that missed these routes? But I've seen Trey hit a lot of, like he has progressively gotten better to me. Yeah. But it's like his misses are amplified. But when the first game that Brock Purdy played, he misran out. You going to wide open pass? It's like, oh well, y'all don't got nothing to say about that.
They do, but that with every like with a quarterback that they've already deemed is not going to be good. Like this is the thing about the media. Like the media picks who they have their chosen ones, and if they think that you're if you're not one of their chosen ones, then everything that you do well is a fluke. And like everything that you don't do well is, oh my God, I can't believe he missed that. Like but if you're one of their chosen ones, like Peyton or Patrick Mahomes or Brady or whoever, like
Trevor Lawrence. I've seen Trevor Lawrence miss a whole bunch of easy throws.
If he makes it, it's like, oh my God, what a throw. That's why you draft a guy
in the first round
and like and when he misses, oh well, the offensive line wasn't really blocking that well on that one. Like
no, he didn't run top of his route properly. He didn't chop down
the receiver. Like it's so obvious, and to the point to where sometimes I just turn the sound off when they start talking. Like in the 49er game this past week, I had to turn the sound off because I couldn't deal with whoever that crew was. I couldn't deal with them, like because they were just saying a bunch of stuff because they had to get through the game. But it was just nonsense. But yeah, it is what it is. Like I'm hoping that Trey comes out. He sat behind Jimmy. He saw what not to do in certain situations. Now he's gotten a chance to really have his job threatened by Brock Purdy and coming in and seeing what it should look like. This is what it should look like. And
or is it though?
Well, you can't argue with 33 points.
No. I'm fine with 33 points a game. My thing is, if I'll take basketball, for instance. If I can shoot 42% from the three-point line, and my coach say, hey, I want you to hit the mid-range. All right, coach, I get the mid-range. I can shoot 50 to 48% from the mid-range. I'm good. My layup package is nice. I can go to the layup. I can go to the hole. I get you points in paint. But, coach, I got a chopper, too. Now, I know you don't mind me hitting these mid-range fadeaways and going to the layup. But when I tell you, coach, when I can shoot 42% from this three-point line, it will open up the offense like you've never seen before. I'm not saying I'm going to shoot this joker like 12 to 15 times a game. But, coach, if you give me 6 to 8 attempts back here, I got you. And I ain't going to do it all. Actually, I'm going to do it in a way where, hey, Kyle, you know how sometimes you got to allow me to evolve your offense, to take the offense out of your hands. This is what special players do. This is what the Toms do. This is what the Pat Mahomes do. This is what the upper echelon individuals do. I'm going to need you to trust me a little bit.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. This is the thing. We would settle with Trey right now. I just want to see him be a solid quarterback. Just a solid quarterback. And without the running and that kind of stuff, I just want him to be able to throw 20, 25 times a game and just be able to run the offense. Like right now, right now, when he develops the confidence in what he's seeing and be able to make those, to see it pre-snap and say, okay, here it comes. Then that's when then yeah, absolutely. But for right now, I think what everybody's waiting to see with Trey is just, can you run the offense?
He's not
know
getting it though.
We know the big plays can happen. I mean, but big plays can happen with your arm and everything else. But we just want to know that you can run the offense first. And
Cal got folks thinking this man is dumb. I'm gonna be honest with you. I listen to
the choir because I think that he deserves that
podcasts, and I listen to too many national radio people on the Bay Area. They think Trey Lance cannot do anything when it comes to passing the ball. They think I'm like this, like Kyle, you sullied this man's ability because these people really think he sucks when it comes to QBing and that he cannot pass the ball in the flat and he can't pass a slant route. Like for real. I watched probably too much KNBR. And bro, when I tell you 85% of the guys are like, Bus, he's done. We've seen enough of him already. He can't make the passes. He's through. I'm like, God, dog.
Yeah, so, he ain't played but 4 games. But okay. And he had, I mean, all of those, he didn't even play the whole game in all those. But anyway, we're gonna get off of Trey because we got all off season to talk about.
Oh man, the most entertaining
franchise on the planet, dog. It just doesn't make any sense.
Did you see his interview today?
I didn't get a chance to see it.
He spoke today, man. I was like David Lombardi. I had this little joke in my head. I think nobody didn't think it was funny, but I thought it was funny. I said David Lombardi saw Trey Lance over there in the locker, was like, "Hey, big head, how you doing?" I'm like, "Look, I know I ain't text you in a while, but it seems like you gonna be the hot stuff and possibly the person I'm gonna need to get close to. So now all of a sudden, how you doing?"
Yeah, I saw that he had an interview. I just didn't get a chance to listen to it. But I think that Trey is going to, if he's anything like we think he is, he's going to get into the lab again this offseason. And he is going to, I think he's going to come out ready. I think he is. And it's really up to Kyle. Like we talked about him just not taking for granted his athletic ability and just let the kid throw. That's what he needs. He needs to throw. And but yeah, we'll see. But before we get out of here, one last question. What are the areas of need do you see going into this offseason? We talked about the offensive line a little bit, but what is there any other like areas of need?
I mean, okay. So I don't know what we plan on doing with some of our free agents, but like you said earlier about Jimmy Ward,
Mm,
even though he played out nickel, he was a starting
yeah.
safety. So you already know we got to make sure that's two positions that we got to worry about. Gibson, a little old. Well, not to say he was old, but he's a
He
player
old.
that okay.
He old. You can say he's old.
Look,
Like,
so he did a serviceable job, but again, since we didn't draft nobody in the position last year, we got two guys who are aging out with a younger guy in Hufanga. We need some speed back there. We need somebody
mhm.
who runs like fast. So I would
Yeah.
say safety. I would say we got to do something with. We need an edge. I don't again. I don't know what they see in Drake. When I don't know what they see in Drake Jackson, I don't know if they trust his ability to go out there and be a 10+ sack guy. But if not, we need pressure from the left and the right.
Mhm.
And then I'll leave that side of the field alone. And I'll just go to offense. We got to start preparing for a left tackle. I know everybody talking about the right tackle, but we have wasted several years of Trent Williams. So I'm
Mhm.
sorry, it's time to start looking into preparing. Because if it's either Brock Purdy or Trey Lynch, we definitely need a left and a right tackle. Period.
Yep.
No matter
Mhm.
who quarterback you cheering for, we need a left and a right tackle. So if
Yep.
I'm them, you need to get to drafting or picking up a free agent really soon. I would not give McGlinchey that money. No offense to him,
No.
but I need to get younger. I need to get somebody who can build with these guys for the next foreseeable future. Nobody over 25, 26 years old. I need somebody
Yeah.
young who shows talent, shows potential, and have the capability to come in and learn our system. So whether it's left tackle, right tackle, in the center. Those are
Yeah.
my three positions on offense. Brandon Ayuk should still be there. Debo should still be there. Elijah should still be there. CMC should still be there. Mason should still be there. TDP should still be there. So, like, offensively, those other positions are good. Maybe draft or pick up a free agent as far as a third wide receiver later on. But in need, I'd rather those three be first. Left tackle, right tackle, and center. And then left tackle, right tackle, center, edge rusher, in the safety on the back end. I'm good with
Yeah.
corner. I think I think our corners should be all right, in my opinion. Lenore, we still got Chavez Ward, we still got Emery Thomas, we still got Womack, we still got Kawez Watkins. I mean, whoever the dude name, I can't
Quantrez Knight.
Contreras Knight. Like, we still got other guys I think can pick in and play over there.
Yeah. I will go with safety is my number one because I think that Ward is gone. I don't think he's coming back. I think that it would be smart of them to hold on to Tayshaun Gibson because he's not going to command too much. I don't think there's going to be a lot because of his age. I don't think that there's going to be too much of a demand for him. And then I think that they draft a guy. Like they have to draft a guy to develop behind him because I don't think that they want to go out there with a rookie or unless they want to go out and sign somebody. I don't know who's available. I haven't looked to see who's going to be available, but yeah. So I would safety is my number one. Number two is right tackle. Like I think right tackle, just like you said, it is imperative that I completely agree with you about they need to start thinking now about the left tackle of the future. Will they? I mean, they haven't shown me yet that they're thinking ahead.
Is Moore
Like
still on the team?
who?
Moore.
Yeah, he's still on the team,
Okay.
but he stinks.
I mean, look, hey, that last person I saw play left tackle. So
Yeah, he's not good. Like I mean, he's just not good. And
hopefully
they got
he's
some
doing his
guys
work.
that are just they got guys that are just are just serviceable. But if we're talking, but that's what we're talking about is they need to upgrade the pass protection. They're
For
serviceable
sure.
in the scheme. They're serviceable in this scheme. Like if when it comes down to it, and your quarterback just has to drop back, like they're gonna get killed, and that's what we see more often than not. So I just yeah, I think right tackle for sure. If they can find a center, great. A center to like if Nick Zakel is the answer, then great. But in my opinion, I think he's too tall to be a center. A center, he's like 6'5". Like, like I wouldn't mind them trying Poe
He
there.
might be your right tackle though. I
Like
mean,
it could be Burford could be the right tackle too, and like
and
it'll
moves the
just be
Kale into a
interesting.
guard.
That could be like
He young though. That's what you want though. They young. Those
yeah.
two are big. They're big.
I would
Banks
like
ain't
to
that
see
big,
them
but he's
draft Tackle.
stouty. But maybe
Banks
draft
is a
another
big
one.
dude. He's like 300 and
He's
what is he
stalky.
like
When I mean
310?
stalk, he's not like he's not visibly like a towering big
Oh,
guy.
okay,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? He's
But
he's short and compacted, like your body style, your body type. He's like a
yeah,
rhinoceros. You know what I'm saying?
but yeah, I think that yeah, I don't care how they do it. I need offensive line. I need some better offensive linemen, like however it looks,
Yeah.
and then that's really it on offense. Like on defense, we like you said, I wouldn't mind seeing. My biggest thing on defense is they need a nose tackle. They need a nose tackle, and then they need it because they still haven't replaced DJ Jones. Kinlaw is not it. They got to figure out
Yeah.
what they're going to do with Kinlaw because it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good when he's out there, and he looked good for a few games in the beginning of the season, and I think he's just he's trying not to get hurt now,
Yeah.
and
Good
I
as a
just
backup. Maybe like how DJ
exactly
was
rotational.
initially.
Yeah,
Maybe
rotational.
how DJ
Like
was at first.
but
Yeah.
I don't want to see him out there for extended snaps. And
For sure. For sure.
and then yeah, I would like to see Drake Jackson get more run. I think the biggest thing with him is that he kind of he's not really stout at setting the edge, and like especially in the run
Who
game.
cares? He gotta learn. I don't know how you can learn to put him out there. His
Oh
athleticism
no,
has
I think
shown.
that he
No,
needs
no,
to
yeah.
be out there. But what I'm saying is that I think that's why they didn't put him out there, like out in his rookie season. You've seen it. Aaron Banks was kind of waffling in the beginning. He didn't look good, so they just shut it down. And I think that
Yeah.
they did the same thing to Drake Jackson. I think they did the same thing to who was the other dude that they shut down, to the corner that was playing in the slot in the
Amon
beginning.
Thompson.
No.
Oh, Womack.
Womack, because
Womack.
he looked like dynamic in the beginning of the season, and they just pulled him. Like they just pulled him, and we never saw him again for the rest of the season. So I think
Mad
that
ball
these are
skills
all,
too.
yeah, I think that these are all players. Those three players specifically this coming season,
Yeah.
could be real difference makers. And like, yeah, we'll see, But hey, Twin, I appreciate you coming through. Had a great time talking. Even though we're talking, we should be still
Next
playing.
season. Off season. Yeah, here already.
But I appreciate you coming through and like appreciate
For
everybody
sure, man.
that came through in the chat with their questions and their comments. Why don't you tell them one more time where they can find you on the socials?
Man, for sure, man. Big ups. It's your boy Twin. You can find me on YouTube at Twin Empires, a compound word, Twin and Empire together. Also on the one and only Twitter, man. Hit your boy up, follow me. You can find me as well. Twin Empire on there as well. It says Twin Empire X2, means times two on Twitter or whatnot. But yeah, make sure you follow, man. Like, sub to the channel, share the content. Hopefully, man, this year we'll get it cracking. Go try to do a little more different on this off season. Get a little more active. I'm trying to get just trying to eventually get a little more into it. It's been a fun experience. This is my first year actually podding consistently, or maybe not as consistent as most, but just getting my feet wet, man. But this off season, I'm gonna try to turn up another notch. Go over there and get in great shape with my brother, man, because he be on a whole nother level. But hopefully I'm gonna rub elbows with him soon and just try to pick up how he be posting like 13 videos a day. I ain't gonna post for 13,
Dog,
but
it seems like he's on all day. Like every time I
hey,
turn on YouTube, he's live. Like it's
bro,
like, what is going on, bro? Do you eat?
hey,
Like,
look, hey, my brother say he got Wolverine blood. I don't know. I'm like, bro, I got the same blood you got, dude. I don't know how you that's something else, but he on a whole nother level, man. He really be pushing out, man. And so hopefully, man, just to hop on there, man, try to get consistent, just either post once a day. And man, just try to go to the channel. So I'm gonna be doing I'm gonna do Niners, and then I'm a big basketball fan too, and I'm a big boxing guy as well. I love boxing and basketball. So I'm gonna try to continue to do 49ers content, but I'm definitely gonna dive into this Warriors content as well. So if you like
okay.
basketball, if you like football, and also I'm a big movie buff and animation guy. So I want to be able to not only have the channel talking about the Niners, but don't want to get pigeonholed and show, bits of my personality using the other things that I like to talk about. So yeah, man, hit me up, man. And yeah, appreciate the time and the opportunity to come on, hop on your channel and kick in and talk with you, over this past, 3-4 months.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And like anytime, because I mean, you always bring the energy. And you and your brother together is like almost like an overload of energy. Like, but shout out to Law Nation. Like, I mean, he's good people. Check out his channel. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to Twin Empire. Uh, Once again, you can get this. You can get Niner Fanatic podcast on YouTube. You can get us on Twitter. You can get us on Facebook. You can get it anywhere you can get your audio podcast. If you don't like looking at my face, you can always listen to the audio version. Like I always say, I don't care where you get it, just get it. And we just got to make sure to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend so that we can be friends every week. And like I said, like it's going to be, I know the 49ers season is over, but it's never over at the same time. So we're going to be talking 49ers all off season.
For
It's now
sure.
draft. It's all draft time. Time to look at those draft mocks and like all the other stuff. We're going to be getting into it every week. I'm going to keep this content coming for you guys. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you like, subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell for the notifications.
For
But
sure.
like I said, we're going to get
The
out of
hottest,
here. And
tell them again real fast. The hottest content for all season football will be from the 49ers again. I'm telling you how this. We go keep it cracking.
We always got the storylines.
But we got more storylines than Media Takeout and TMZ and the Shade Room put together. That's how many storylines we got. We got headlines for all y'all.
And like, I mean, for everybody, their grandmama and everybody else along with it, and all of the baby and them, like so. But we're gonna get out of here.
Hey, I love we sit you home, put you on the couch, god dog, while you're trying to be funny.
But hey, go Niners.
Bang bang, baby.